Hi, Mike DePung here. Happy Halloween. If you are into the current cultural um, uh, ways of celebrating Halloween, great. Have a wonderful time. There's nothing that we can do probably that's healthier for us or more healing for us than to have some fun that we can laugh about, that we can enjoy, that doesn't harm others in any way. Then yes, have fun. If you're more into things and thinking about what this time of the year means, then I would like to share some things that I've been thinking about. I know I haven't been here for a while, but if you have watched me before, you know that I am all about being awakening to our own hearts, to enter into healing, awakening love, because we are each at our core essence love. We are each spirit. We are expressions of spirit incarnate. These bodies are in spirit. And we get to experience this time for a little while. And we knew when we came here to this middle world, we knew that we would experience trauma. And so we come equipped with ways to deal with it. And I could talk about a lot of things right now, but I don't want this to get really long. So, for those of you that celebrate Halloween in a fun, happy way, like the current culture does, great. That's one of the best things you can do for yourself is to have fun that doesn't harm anyone else. Um, but there are some of us who are think more deeply into it that this is going up like tomorrow is El Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Um, and it's a time where we talk about those of us who practice uh, spiritualism, mysticism. We talk about the veil is thin, the veil between being on in this realm and being able to communicate with others in other realms, including spirits, the spirit natures that are all about us. I've talked about this kind of thing before, but I want to share something that is very real and personal to me because it might be healing for you, especially if you're grieving the loss of a loved one. If you're grieving a loved one who has passed, who has transitioned, you should know that they can communicate with you. No, it's not going to be the same, but there are ways. I know I have a friend who recently lost his wife, and he has received some amazing signs that yes, she is thriving, that she is happy, that she is uh, at peace on the other side and enjoying it. Um, doesn't always help here, except for this, except to know that there is another realm. And that's what I want to share about today. And that we can communicate with those in some ways, in limited ways, perhaps. Some people have greater powers to be able to do that. And that is awesome. I'm not one of those people, I don't think, not too much at least. But I do know that I believe it. And because of that, I want to share this story with you. Every day when I walk my puppy, we walk maybe 2 miles or so every morning. And most days, at least, like this morning, we didn't walk far because by the time we reached the end of the block, we were both soaked because it was raining pretty steadily. Uh, but most days, 95% of the days, I pass a church graveyard. There's a church close by here. And I walk past, and it's just this beautiful little graveyard. And to many people, it represents grief. And there are times I've passed, and every morning, you should know this, every morning when I pass, I offer to the souls that are represented there. It's almost like those graves are a portal, maybe to where they are. And I tell them that I'm want to share with them just a little bit of remembrance, and I want to share love in terms of a little bit of remembrance and a lot of gratitude because they made history here, because they changed the way the world is just by being here. And so do you and I. And one morning, that's what I heard. One of them, or some of them, maybe it was a group effort, I don't know. But I heard when I said that, I thanked them for making history. I thanked them for having shared their melody and their colors and their aromas, the savor, the textures of their lives. And as I told them, it said that, and I started to walk away, I said, I don't know if any of this ever makes any difference. And it was like, boom, I just heard, quote unquote. Um, you're making history too. You're making history right now. Live like it, not denying it, not playing small. And so I, I'm doing that, I hope. Um, but the other morning, it was about a week or so ago. As I was walking, there were these bluebirds just flitting from the trees there, from the tree to the headstones and back up in the tree. And this poem came to me that I knew I wanted to share. And so I'm going to read it to you. Um, I would like to read it to you at least. And this is what I titled it: Bluebird Cemetery. Bluebird busily flaps from headstone to tree to headstone. What do souls represented beneath these markers of grief say to this insolent bird making light of the final space of their remains? Stop it? Cease and desist? No. Bluebirds say what we no longer may. Here the letters carved in marble and granite tell when we lived, our names, and that is my spouse or child lying next to me. We ceased. That's what most think. We never did. Oh, we left these bodies, but we play in our world now just as the bluebirds do. They declare our message to you, whoever you are looking on. Expand, redefine your view of life. So much more than you now know. This graveyard is a place for bluebirds to play, to say, let your colors be seen, your songs ring out, your breath be savored. Allow your feathery textures to whisk you to the creation of history. Continual grief means little when we know continual anything we wish to know. Make history now, for that we may no longer do. Time and space we have left behind, but never, ever have we left you behind. Bluebirds tell you that we, being dead, yet speak. We, being absent in body, now say the world is richer because we dared to come, to live and face whatever we needed to do. Now, you do the same. Enrich this world in the love that is you. We still do. And the bluebirds frolic. And so that's the poem that I wrote. And I do speak to those who are on this other side of the veil several times a day, every day, my family, friends, the people who I've known from this little subdivision village type place where we live. I remember them. I speak to them. There have been some amazing things. I'm going to share with you one last quick thing that this just happened on Monday. Um, as I go on these morning walks, I do what I call my gratitude greeting. I greet spirits that I know, and I greet the elements and the nature spirits. And I do this every morning. And when I do, my family is included in that, and those on the other side. And on Monday, as we walked, I paused when I got to my grandpa Pung, who died when I was 3 years old. I never really knew him, but I remembered one thing, and I told him, I said, one thing I'm really thankful for, Grandpa, is when at your funeral, in the funeral home, my dad stood over your casket and he was holding me. And I had never heard my dad cry before, but I felt these deep sobs in his chest. And it made me just realize, in looking back, to frame what it meant, to think how much he loved you and what it meant. So I told my grandpa this, and it was like I just felt this warmth come over me. Okay, could that be a sign? Or I don't care. I don't know. I don't need a sign because I know they're there and I know they're here. But sometimes I wonder, and I think my grandpa must have known that, because 2 hours later, I got a text from my cousin, and he said, "Hey, I'm cleaning some things out of my house. Um, Here's a picture of grandpa. Would you like it?" And there, standing there, he wasn't really smiling. It was kind of like those old timey pictures where they're pretty stern looking. But standing there as a very young man was my grandpa, who I had just spoken to 2 hours earlier and told him that. Coincidence? You want to say it's coincidence, fine, that's up to you. But what you think doesn't matter to me in this sense. I know that my grandpa heard me, and I know it meant something to him, and I know that they are there taking it all in on the other side, and they are rooting for us. They are for us. So if you're grieving right now and you need some healing in your life from that, from the loss of loved ones, there is grief that leads to continual sorrow and despair. That's not what our loved ones want from us. They want the grief that leads for us to keep living in love, to remember them, to declare them. And sometimes we declare them by simply being us and loving. So I'm sharing that with you today on Halloween, right before the Day of the Dead. And I want you to enjoy today. And I hope that this will just give you a little incentive to address your loved ones, to enjoy them, and to know that we are not alone, even if we feel like it. We are blessed. We have been given this great favor to be able to know, um, that there is something more than this, and that actually, right now, we're part of that. We just have bodies for now to get to enjoy all of this creation, to learn about it that we don't get to experience any other way. So, blessings to you, love and peace always. And I'll talk to you soon. In fact, I might talk to you tomorrow because boy, do I ever have some great stories for you for this time of the year. And it's not limited to just Halloween. But anyway, love and peace.